Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about how to attract your dream clients who pay in full using the drug dealer method, right? And the reason I bring this up is because drug dealers are notoriously the people who sell easily and the most amount of offers, right? And partly it's because of the product, but also because of the perceived value of each and every single offer, right? And I'm going to outline for you a couple of ways you can implement their process, their thinking methods into your offer so you can sell like crazy like that. Okay. But first, there's a reality that's happening right now that most coaches are beggars right now, right? You don't see a drug dealer begging, do you? But the complete opposite is happening in the coaching industry, and you need to know how to make clients addicted to work with you, right? And you need to make them feel like they're going to buy something really valuable that is going to quench their thirst for anything, right? That is the way of the drug dealer. This might be something controversial, but I'm just making the point for the sake of simplicity, right? Yeah. So your dream clients are not ignoring you, whether you like to believe it or not. They literally cannot see you. So there's a difference between being ignored and being unseen, right? Because being ignored happens after someone sees you. And when we say someone sees you, we just don't mean they're looking at your page or things like that, but they notice that you are an entity, right? And that is very rare these days. And the reason why this is happening is because of these three deadly mistakes that I'm about to share with you, right? The first one is you're not granular enough in how you define your ICP, your ideal client profile. And it's not just you do not um, go granular in terms of definition, but you also do not know how far you should go to actually define those sets of people, right? So you say, hey, I've actually niched down to this point in the segment, in the market segment, but I don't know if I should go further or if I should go back and broaden it, right? That is a very confusing place to be because, you just don't know where to stop, right? And most people, they stop on the topic, right? They just niche down by topic saying, hey, I'm a mindset kind of like coach, blah, 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 right? But the problem with that is if you do not know when you can stop, because that is actually different for each and every single offer. When you don't know when you're going to stop, you might think that you've niched down, but in reality, you just haven't, right? And that just does not guarantee that you will not blend into the noise and into your competition, right? And so you might be falling to the truth that you've niched down, but in reality, you are still like everyone else, okay? So that is one of the most important reasons that most people just get, you know, not seen. Most coaches, they just don't get seen just because of this problem, right? Second one is you're selling coaching instead of a psychological drug, and by psychological drug, it is, I mean, I mean it in terms of what thing can your ICP look at and desire it just like you would an addiction to a drug, if that makes sense, right? And it's not just a transformation. Sure, a transformation is really attractive. It is what sells more than a program. But just take that transformation a step further and make it a psychological drug. Okay, something that people just want, just like a drug, and they just know, they perceive that they are going to get whatever they're craving for once they say yes to that offer. Okay, so I want you to that conclusion from that point of view, right? And the third reason is you have no identity based association for the avatar that you're targeting, right? So this kind of like overlaps or comes together with the first point where I say people just like to niche down just by topic, which is a very bad way to actually look at it, especially in 2025. You need to associate a certain parameters to the identity of the avatar, so that you can build a more stronger relationship, so that you can become more magnetic to the right people, and you can be repulsive to the wrong people, right? Because it's not just, hey, I'm going to serve X, Y, and Z topic. that's going to cut it for you, but it's also the identity of the people that you are targeting, right? Because after all, you're targeting people, and people have identities, they have beliefs, they have values, right? And these things that are not, very explicit in terms of how people, explain themselves, just do wonders whenever you're attracting people into your space, right? Whenever you're trying to make your messaging work, okay? Because these things are innate, they are deep down, and whenever things are deep down, people pay attention. That is why it is really important to actually acknowledge that fact. Okay, so the dream client, drug dealer. Okay, you're about to be that person who who's just going to get dream clients like clockwork. Okay, and so if you have noticed any of these problems, then the solution that I'm about to share with you is going to help you a ton in attracting your next 5, 10, 15, 20 dream clients. Okay, so like we said, the first thing you need to do is you need to create a cult avatar. Okay, so I want you to think of it as if I were going to create a group, right? A tribe. What attributes would the members of those tribe have, right? And those questions are really important because a lot of people just dismiss niching down by topic, and they just forget the psychological questions, or psychographics, as some people call it, to actually make sure that people can, be magnetic towards them, right? So asking deeper questions like, hey, what is their guilty pleasure? Because people just won't tell you this answer in a form on the internet, or they won't disclose it, you know in the open, right? But they are very, very important to actually make a very good connection with those people, and to hit on their deepest desires, to make your copy work, right? To make them take action. Because if you do not know this, then they will never feel like they've been heard too. Okay, so another question you might ask is, hey, what do they hate that everyone else loves? This is also a very important question. You're not just saying, what do they hate, right? Because if you say things that they hate but everybody else loves, then those exact people are going to be attracted to your message, because it's just so unique. It's just so unique, and it just comes um, so unexpectedly that those people say, yeah, this is mine, right? You can say, hey, what is their secret self image? You can see the pattern that most of these questions have have the theme of something something that is deep. Okay, something that is not explicit in terms of how it is portrayed to the outside world from your avatars. Okay, who do they look up to? Also, yeah, this is not something that you can readily find when it comes to like who they look up to, right? So, for example, this is a random example, but you say, hey, I'm looking for ex-lawyers who binge Succession. It's a TV series, and want to build a soulful consulting business without sounding like a LinkedIn cringe boss, right? So everybody loves to do LinkedIn, but that is also something that they hate, right? So the right person who's going to listen to this message is instantly going to be drawn to this message. Okay. Second point you need to make sure you know is value packaging, right? And the reason why this is important is because people judge a book by its cover, whether it's good or bad. Whether we've written quotes denoting that it's bad, it's still the thing that people use to make decisions. Fortunately and unfortunately, but we as we as people who solve problems, we don't complain. We just look at whatever is happening, and then we just play into that game, right? And so how do you play into that bias of people judging by its cover? That is what we call value packaging, right? The way that you present something is almost greater than whatever is inside, right? So you need to make sure that whatever you're packaging, the naming that you're giving to that, attracts the right people, right? So, for example, you can say, hey, this is a week packaging, 6 months, one-on-one coaching. No one knows who this is for, and so the right people are never going to watch this thing, because there's no incentive, or there's nothing that tells them, hey, this is for you, right? On the other hand, an irresistible naming, right, could be, hey, this is the quiet closer's playbook. For instance, let's say a coach is selling to closers a specific, training, and so you'd say, hey, this is the quiet closer's playbook. this has 21 scripts to close without talk, and you can see that this is talking to an identity. Okay, an identity that those people have, that they just secretly like to admit, right? They're either, introverts who do not like to talk, but they're in sales, so they cannot talk about that. So, it's kind of like a conundrum for them. But a person who actually gives them this message, they're just going to treat him as a drug dealer, and they're just gonna buy from him and just gonna listen to him, right? Just because of this fact, right? That is the most important thing about this process here. The more exclusive you make it sound, the more secretive you make it sound, the more deep you go down into the desires of people, that is when you start to become that drug dealer. Does that make sense? So you can see the tactic here, that it is turning an identity into a category, and you're selling the farm for a penny. Okay, that's also one of the ways that you can package something. You give something of 100 times worth of value for just 1/100th of the price. That is what we call sell the farm for a penny. Okay, and so the best part about this process, when you nail this down, is you get dream clients who pay premium prices because they want whatever you're offering, right? Which means you also have the opportunity to work less. Okay, you can now delegate. You can systemize, right? By turning your best one-on-one advices into more scalable content, courses, and things like that. You can double down and fire discount hunters or people who are not your dream clients. You can raise your prices until only dream clients apply. Okay, because the thing that makes people, or makes your clients a dream client or not, is the way you treat them, the way you treat them in your sales process, the questions that you ask them, the things you know about them, right? These things are very, very important to actually suggest or turn those people who wouldn't have been a dream client otherwise into a person, or into a client that is a dream client right now. Okay. And so, if you want my exact templates on how you can implement this process step by step, you can literally DM Dream on IG at Beam Scales, and you can check your DMs in 10 minutes, where I'll send you the whole framework. And yeah, drop a like on this video if it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.